Hey guys, April Melvin here, and today I'm going to be sharing my major beef with the mega churches. But before I do that, I want to ask that you guys please like and subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos on Thursday and they are all faith-based. So please like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell. Also, I have a small update to share with you guys. I had this idea for a children's book, and I'll give you more details later, but I will give you the title today, and that's Dragons Don't Go to Church. So be on the lookout for that. I have to admit, that was a little bit clickbaity of me. I don't really have an issue with the mega churches themselves. I am sure that there are wonderful, incredible people that are serving at those churches. I also think that they're doing incredible things in the community. Heck, a local mega church here raised $1 million for the local housing crisis. That's incredible. So I really don't have an issue per se with mega churches. I do have some major concerns though with Christians that attend them. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. In fact, I've got two of my major issues that I'm going to be talking about, and then what I believe the solution to be. My first issue is that it encourages Christians to be pew sitters, and here's what I mean by that. When you have this incredibly large, multi-staffed church, a Christian just come in on a Sunday and sit down, listen to a message, and then get up and walk out the door. And the issue with that is that's not really what church was intended to be. And I think that that's the main issue in our American church culture. If I could take a step back and sort of look at the landscape and not go pinpoint any particular church, but just the overall issue with the Christian faith in America, is that we've forgotten why we go to church to begin with. We go to church because we're supposed to become a part of a group of people. The word church in the Greek in the New Testament is ekklesia. It's a group of people. We've reduced it to a location, and we've reduced it even further to an event that we attend on Sundays. And guys, the problem with that is twofold. One, you're not serving. Let's be honest. If you're attending a large church, one of the benefits, if you will, is that it's all done. You show up, everything is set up, everything is put out. You get to sit in this really nice auditorium and hear this really incredible professional band, and you get to watch this really unbelievable speaker. So you get entertained on Sunday and then you leave. That's going to church. We're not supposed to go to church. We're supposed to become a part of a group of people. You have a gift that God gave you when you become saved, and that gift is supposed to be taken and used within the body of believers that you are a part of. Pew sitting is not a spiritual gift. I promise you, nobody was given the spiritual gift of sitting. And so if you're going to that mega church, my big beef a lot of times is that I'm not seeing Christians using their faith or using their spiritual gift. And if they're not using their spiritual gift, then their faith isn't growing. We have a major faith issue in the United States, and I think a big part of that stems from the fact that we have so many believers that are being entertained, that they're going to church, they're not becoming grafted in, and so their faith is being stunted by that. They're the seed that Jesus talks about in the parable of the sower that are falling on rocky ground. The seed pops up, right? It's excited to hear the word, but because there's no soil, there's no depth to their faith, when troubles come, they just fall away. And so that's my first major issue with being a pew sitter and being entertained with Sunday. My second part of that is to all the mamas out there and the papas. I think a lot of the reason why we parents, we are enticed by those bigger church models is because we want to make sure that our kids want to go to church. Here's the problem with that. My sweet, sweet friend. Church isn't about being entertained. And so what we're inadvertently doing to a whole generation of kids is we are teaching them that church needs to have all of these cool things for them. And then when those things go away, or they're no longer old, or they're too old, they've aged out of some of those programs, then they don't understand why they go to church. They fall away. Again, there's no depth. So we're inadvertently, because we're trying to make church more enjoyable for our kids, we're inadvertently stunting our children's growth in their faith because we are teaching them that church is for them to be entertained. It's for them to be comfortable. And that was never the intention of church. So I guess if you are attending a mega church, I would challenge you to ask yourself that really tough question of why are you going? And then the second follow-up question is, are you actually serving? Are you actually becoming a part of the body of believers, or are you just going to church on Sunday? Okay, my second beef with Christians that go to mega churches is that oftentimes you have to drive. a little bit of a distance to get there. We live in a community that's kind of sandwiched between two larger communities. And so we've got large churches to the north and large churches to the south. And so a lot of Christians in the Ashland community will go either north or they'll go south to go to church. And here's my problem with that. It's very difficult for you to intentionally evangelize when you're driving 40 minutes away. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Our mission as a believer, the number one job, the thing that we should all be focused on, is telling people about Jesus. That's the last thing that Jesus tells us before he ascends, right? Go into all the world, the Great Commission. We're not doing that. We're just not doing that. And I think in part because we go to these larger churches and we expect that the staff does that. That's the staff's job to do that. Or we just don't know how to do that. We're not taught what that actually looks like. What it actually looks like is going outside, talking to your neighbor, having a conversation with them, and then inviting them to church on Sunday. Here's the problem if you go 40 minutes away, my sweet friend. You'll drive 40 minutes. I'll drive 40 minutes for Jesus, but your unsaved neighbor probably won't. That is a barrier that we are unintentionally putting in that doesn't need to be there because we are going outside of our communities in order to go to church. It's that much harder to serve the community that we're in. It's hard to evangelize to the world when we're kind of going out of our world to a different world to attend church. And so my main issue and the reason why we started our church in the community that we're in is because I wanted to lower that bar. I knew that there were people, in fact, statistically, when I was looking up, the demographics of our area, I want to say about half of the people in our area have said that they're not saved. Well, so then why would I make it harder for me to tell them about Jesus and encourage them to go and hear the gospel message? Why would I make it harder on them and myself by going to church 40 minutes away? And so a big reason why we were so passionate about starting a church in our community is because we wanted to make sure that we could, as we're evangelizing, as we're doing the thing that Jesus told us to do, that we've lowered that barrier of admission for the non-believers to come to and attend a church. And so that is, I think, the major issue that I have with attending a church that's outside of our community and so far away. It just makes it that much more challenging to actually evangelize. Okay, so what's the solution? Well, I think the solution is kind of twofold. The first is, if you are attending a mega church, then find a place to serve. And I know that was part of the reason why you went to that church to begin with, is because you didn't have to serve. But guys, the only way that you're going to grow your faith when you get to a certain level is to serve. You need to do that for your faith. And if you're a parent like me, you also need to do that for your children's faith. Your children should be serving. Man, we have kids in our church that are serving every Sunday. Even the littles, right? Even the littles are rolling out the different boxes to pack away children's church for the week. And that's good for them. They get to actually serve and engage. And so you need it, Christian, for your own faith. And then moms, your children need it too. So help them find a way to serve. If you are committed to your mega church, then get in there, find places where you can volunteer, engage with the church body, really become grafted in and serve. The second thing, this is going to be a little bit self-serving, but find a local church. Again, we need to be missionally focused. The mission is not your comfort. The mission is not how you feel. You're saved. You're good. But you have a job to do, and that job is to tell people about Jesus. And again, by going to church 30, 40 minutes away, you're creating a barrier that's impacting your ability to evangelize with the unsaved people that are in your community. So get rid of that barrier by finding a local church that you can plug into and serve. That's going to help a couple ways. One, I promise you, in a smaller church, there's more opportunities to serve. So it'll be much easier for you to actually use the gift that God has given you and grow your faith. But two, it's also going to serve your community. There are incredibly missional focused churches that are doing things in their community and serving the community that they're in. And so you're not only going to be making it easier on yourself, and you're going to save gas money, and you're going to be able to engage in a much more meaningful way, but you're also going to be serving the community that you're in. You're going to be serving the kids in the community that you're in, guys. It's just that much better. And so if you're committed to your mega church, I get it. Just please, I would encourage you, don't just be a pew sitter. Find a way to serve and volunteer and get grafted into that body. But I would also encourage you to maybe look at the local churches in your area that you can actually become a part of and make a meaningful contribution contribution to God's kingdom. All right, that's my issue with mega churches, and it really isn't with the mega churches. I think they're doing an incredible job. It's with the Christians that are attending, and really it's just a challenge and a reminder of why we go to church to begin with, and really kind of getting back to that original purpose, that original job that Jesus gave us as believers, and becoming more focused on that. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and comments on that. Don't forget to put them in the comment section, and come back next Thursday. I will see you guys then.